County Post Sports with Mike Stanley, brought to you today by Angie Cox State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City. I have my co-host back with me, Andrew Briggs. Andrew, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Jefferson County lost 24-14 on Friday night in what many have labeled the Mud Bowl because it rained almost all night long. And then Jefferson County had a lighting issue that the game was actually delayed 2 hours and 3 minutes before the kickoff. And the lighting issue played a big part. I guess somebody in the stands came down and said, "I can fix that," and so you know they got it fixed and they were able to play. Kickoff was at 9:33 on Friday night, and it just seemed like it's so hard to come out, get amped up, ready for the game, and then have a 2-hour delay.
Yeah, you were amped up 7:30 ready to play, and then they're like, well, we're gonna have a 30-minute delay, which turned into a 2-hour delay. And the players, I think that's really hard for them to get back up and say, well, gotta go back out and play at 9:30 at night, raining down, nobody really here, not a lot of people in the stands. It's hard for them to get back up and be ready to play.
Yeah, there were quite a few people missing because of the weather, and I think too, you know, it kind of messed with Jefferson County's game plan because it seemed like the offense never could really get going. They really never could get in sync to sustain a few drives. Didn't capitalize on some turnovers that the defense made, and just kind of, and of course Hardin Valley ran the Wildcat with Aguero, and that kind of just wore on Jefferson County's defense over the course of the game.
Yeah, the offense never really could get in a rhythm where they were. Normally they've been down the field, up and down quick, putting points up on the board. It was more just like a blah, like nothing was really good at all.
Yeah.
And then, but like you said, Aguero, extremely good running back. And they ran that Wildcat and caught our secondary in some spots where they were just caught out to dry and they got touchdowns out of it.
Yeah, well, and I think the thing with Aguero is he was such a physical runner. You know, and any time that, and two, number 7, the Frizzell kid, he was a physical runner as well. Yeah. I think he was listed at 6'3", 225. I mean, that's a big running back at the high school level. Yeah,
that's tough to contain when they come up the middle and you got a 6'3" guy, like you said, coming at you. You say, you know, I got to take him down. And then they throw in the passing game too, just extremely off balance. And credit to them, they mixed it up perfectly and kept our defense guessing of what was coming next.
Well, I think what it was, you know, Hardin Valley really only threw the ball twice the whole game, but it was the timing of their throws that caught Jefferson County off guard. It was in the fourth quarter when all they had done was the direct snap, either handoff run, and then boom, all of a sudden they're doing the Aguero's running the ball, and then all of a sudden he just kind of dumps it. You know, it was kind of a pass like that. And credit them, their offensive play calling, it was good. They did that at the exact time they needed to. But I think Jefferson County just couldn't get over the hump offensively, and I think that execution is a must going down the stretch for Jefferson County.
Yeah, execution has to be very good. In games that they have won, their execution has been good, and they executed their plays good, and their offense has been in sync together, rolling. In the games they haven't, their offense has been here and there, and that can't happen when you're playing a good team like Hardin Valley, West, Maryville. Good teams like that, your offense can't be here and there, back and forth. It's got to be in sync, everybody on the same page.
Right. And of course, the footing on the field played made a big difference in the game because Jefferson County has the athletes outside where they like to cut upfield and go. They weren't able to make cuts very good. Where Hardin Valley was more of a physical running team, they're just running right at you. They don't try to juke and jive, and I think it played into their hands a little bit. Now moving forward against Science Hill, I know Science Hill, their quarterback's hurt, and it kind of they're running the Wildcat right now to get through this, you know. And I have to think really, I think Jefferson County's chances this week are good against Science Hill. As weird as that may seem,
yeah.
You know.
Their quarterback really before he got hurt, he was their only option, their go-to guy. Everything was run through him, and he went out, and their offense has been not really, like you said, run through the Wildcat to try to get through it. But I do like Jefferson County's chances in that game also. Their defenses, our front seven, are really good in that, and I like their chances in that game.
Yeah, I do think San Jose's defense is good. They have a big defensive lineman in the front in the middle that that will take up a lot of space and probably create problems in Jefferson County's running game. So Jefferson County will be able to have to throw the ball against Science Hill. But I guess going up to Science Hill will be the thing for Jefferson County. Now, Jefferson County went to Maryville, went to West. Haven't played very well on the road. Played well at Carter, but haven't played tremendously well on the road. They have to get off to a quick start against a good Science Hill team.
I think that's the key to the game is quick start, because the games that they have gotten beat, they've gotten off to really slow starts, and they've let the other team come off quick starts the whole year. Like DeAndre took the first handoff to the house.
Yeah.
Maryville first, they throw that big long pass, touchdown, just like that, and you find yourself in a hole. It's hard to get confidence and dig yourself out. And I think that's what a Jefferson County team needs right now is confidence. They don't. If they come out to a quick start, get rolling, their offense gets in sync. I like that better than when they get in a hole and they can't dig themselves out of it.
Right, and I think I do think that there's certain players on Jefferson County's offense that probably need more touches. Yeah. You have some guys getting 3, 4, 5 touches a game that really need to be getting 10 or 12 touches a game. And I think that while it doesn't necessarily hurt in the outcome of the game, it cannot help. You know what I mean? I
think like you said, getting other guys different touches and maybe showing the other team that we have other guys here that can hurt you too, and we're going to make you guard them instead of just keying in on these guys over here, saying, well, they only throw it over here. Yeah. If they throw it over here, you throw a couple, maybe you don't go to them anymore. If you do try it, throw to them and give them some touches. But if it does work, then you've got 4 guys instead of maybe 2.
Right. Well, I was able to catch up with Kenny Cobble after the rain-soaked game on Friday night, and here's what he had to say.
Coach, the long layoff to start the game, how hard is it for your team to be out here ready to play, amped up, and then have to sit down for 2 hours?
Well, I thought we handled that part very well. We came back out after the break and we were ready to go. I thought we were juiced up and ready to roll, and our break wasn't any longer than theirs, so that can't be a factor for us.
Yeah, moving forward, obviously field conditions kind of limited what you guys wanted to do offensively. Moving forward, how do you get more production on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, we've been productive. Tonight, it was just efficiency. It wasn't about productivity. It was efficiency. You can't have that many penalties. You can't have snapping fracks. You can't be, the things that happen that we shot ourselves with penalty-wise, and I think that's what you got to wind up overcome. We got to execute a little bit better. Had a couple of drops here and there, which conditions may have played a role in, but we can't afford to use any of that as an excuse. We just got to get better and take care of ourselves.
Right. Moving ahead against a very good Science Hill team. What are some things you have to do on the road next week to come out victorious in that game?
Well, we just got to execute. If we can clean up the penalties and make some of the plays that we've been able to make throughout the year, I think we've got a chance to be fine. They're very good defensively. Got some playmakers on offense, but they're just like we are, just like this team we just played. They're right in the thick of it, and they're a team that we're going to go compete with, try to go get a win.
Yeah. When Hardin Valley did get up 24-7 tonight, your kids never backed down, never stopped playing, and made another score, had a chance to get the ball back. Talk a little bit about the fight and the no quit in your team.
Well, that's the greatest thing about being here and coaching these guys is they're resilient and they're going to keep fighting and it's one of those things where, again, if we take care of ourselves, then I think we put ourselves in a lot better position. But I credit them because they don't give up. They keep fighting. They do what we ask them to do, and now we got to come back out and practice and be better there so that we can be better on Friday night.
Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley, brought to you today by Angie Cox State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City. It is now time for our Jefferson County Post Angie Cox State Farm Player of the Week, and it is none other than Tucker Seay. Tucker, thanks for coming on with us, man.
Thank you.
Tucker had 8 solo tackles against Hardin Valley in the rain-soaked game on Friday night, and Tucker kind of talked about what it was that Hardin Valley was doing. That it seemed like they were real physical. They were running right at you guys.
They were running a lot of power the other night, so guard pull, so we had to read it really good. We had to set an edge, and once we started setting the edge, we were starting to get used to clogging that up the middle, and just we weren't used to them run outside, so that edge was key for us. So as soon as they started hitting up the middle, we were just there clogging it.
Yeah, you had eight solo tackles the other night. Is that a game that you like playing in? It's wet. Primarily they're going to run the football. There's not going to be very many passes. You have to read and react. Is that the kind of game that kind of Tucker feeds off of?
Oh yeah, it definitely is, because I like being there, making the tackles, making plays. Just rain gets me energized, and it just makes me feel like I'm playing a whole lot better than I am. And I love it, because I like taking shots and making big hits. Like the other night they ran a power play and I was able to try to get a big hit, and I think I did, but that's my opinion. But I love playing those games.
Tucker, you've had like a good season so far. You've been really assertive in the middle linebacker position. Had a bunch of good games with a lot of solo tackles and some big plays and some big games. What do you think going forward in the season and next year in the offseason are the keys for you to get your game to where you think it needs to be, and for your team's defense to be?
For me, specifically, it's just going to be me trying to get a bigger body, playing more physical than I already am. My goal is to be about 215 next year. I just want to be able to make sure I'm out there, biggest body, rallying to the ball, a whole lot more speed than I have now. And then for the team, it's just I need to make sure that all of the guys are ready, because we're losing a lot this year on defense, so I'm just going to have to make sure everybody's mind's right, knowing where they're supposed to be as long as where I'm supposed to be. So
Tucker, the delay this week, how hard is it to work through a delay when you're ready to play at 7 o'clock and you guys are out there on the field, and then you have to come off the field? And
that was probably one of the hardest things ever, because I did not like waiting. I was getting really antsy. I don't really know what I was feeling. I went back to the locker room. They said we're getting delayed. I put my headphones on, like getting ready, like we were about to play, just like another pregame. So
yeah. What was some things that you did in the locker room for that 2-hour delay that you had?
Obviously, listen to my music. I kind of stared at the lights and just kind of looked at them angrily. Then I sat in a little chair and just kind of looked at the ground and just was bobbing my head up and down, ready to go.
Tucker, you're a very emotional player, as everybody has seen. You get very into the game. You're screaming, yelling, telling the crowd to get up, and you're very emotional. What gets you so pumped up on those Friday nights?
Honestly, I don't know. I like how I'm just getting like that, and just kind of copied it off of A.J. Johnson, because he's one of the biggest role models I've ever had. Him, Kurt and Jed, just seeing them, like, if it works for them, I know they're at the college level, but if it works for them, maybe it'll work for high schoolers. So I was like, that's where I get it from. I start off in the mornings, turn my music up in my room. That's what gets me going, starting off.
Now, you guys got a big game against Seay this week. A big chance to improve positioning in region this week, and make some noise across the East Tennessee with a huge win over Seay. What are some things that you guys have looked at so far, and the things that you guys need to do in order to possibly upset Seay this week?
To upset them, we're going to have to be very physical up front. They're going to have a little bit of speed to them, but I think we'll be able to handle their offensive line. Our secondary is going to have to just make sure they're not giving up the big play. Same for up front. We've gave up some big plays up the middle, but we're just going to make sure that the big play is not giving up.
Well, that is Tucker Seay, our Jefferson County Post, Angie Cox, State Farm Player of the Week. Tucker, thanks for coming on with us, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tucker.
Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. Moving forward in our Big Orange Breakdown portion of the show, brought to you today by Volunteer Spirits, located at 921 Highway 92 in Jefferson City. Reminding you, if you drink, please drink responsibly. And finally, Tennessee finally got over the hump, finally won a game, and it was the exact opposite of how they were losing games. So maybe that's the key. Maybe Tennessee needs to trail big early, and then come back to win. Of course, Joshua Dobbs had a huge game, going 25 of 42 for 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have the 1 interception early in the game. It was off a deflected ball. He had 430 yards total offense. He gained 118 on the ground rushing. Absolutely phenomenal game by him. So all the guys that are calling for Quentin Dormady to take over the quarterback position kind of probably got put on hush after that. But finally, University of Tennessee finally was able to pull a game out in which they were not supposed to win. And frankly, with 3 minutes to go in the first half, it was hard to foresee a Tennessee victory in that game. Trailing 24-3, got the breaks they needed to cut it to 24-17 right before halftime, and then of course right after halftime was able to tie at 24, take the lead in the fourth quarter at 31-24, and then quarterback Grayson Lambert for Georgia found a wide open Sonny Mitchell for a touchdown against Tennessee secondary, the first play of the fourth quarter, to tie it at 31. And everybody, you could hear the gasps. It was, here we go again. Tennessee's gonna blow another lead in the fourth quarter, but they didn't. They were able to respond nicely. They were able to regain the lead at 38-31 and able to hold on this time, which made it much more enjoyable for Vol Nation. I think the key to the game was very first game. Of course, Nick Chubb goes out for Georgia, the all SEC running back for Georgia. Goes out in the first play of the game. We hope that it's not as bad as it appeared to be on television, because man, it did look nasty. But his backup with Sonny Mitchell was able to gain 150 yards on the ground. It was a nice game. He had a nice game filling in for Nick Chubb. So you can't really blame that for the loss. Then of course Tennessee shot themselves in the foot early in the game, and was able to respond and able to get over that hump finally. And Butch Jones finally gets that first real signature win of his career at Tennessee. I know he had the win at South Carolina, the win against South Carolina at home 2 years ago, then to come from behind at South Carolina last year. But this game was different. This Georgia team was a good Georgia team, ranked in the top 10 last week before getting beat by Alabama, which a lot of teams get beat by Alabama. So for Tennessee to be able to get down that big, ended up being the third largest comeback in University of Tennessee history, the second largest in Neyland. I think what a huge momentum shift for Tennessee's season. I think this jump starts their season nicely. They get the bye week. They get to get some guys healthy this week before going down to Alabama in 2 weeks on the 24th. I do think I can't pick Tennessee against Alabama. It is 2 weeks from right now, and that might change in 2 weeks as I start thinking more about the game and becoming more of a homer toward Tennessee. I think that game is a loss. I think it's a close game now. Tennessee's got their momentum back, got some confidence back, and thinking that they can play with some people. But I do think this jumpstarts them for the rest of the season. They'll be favored in each game throughout the rest of the season after the Alabama game. And I think it's huge for Tennessee. This Georgia win was for the university, for the football program, for the fan base that was wanting Butch Jones' head on a silver platter after the way the meltdowns against Oklahoma and Florida and the loss against Arkansas. I think such a nice win for the program, and it helps everybody involved, including the fans. Now, if they can continue on this path, if Josh Dobbs can continue throwing the ball, 35 plus times a game, and still rushing for over 100 yards a game, while Jalen Hurd still getting his carries. Alvin Kamara had a big game yesterday for Tennessee against Georgia with the 2 touchdown catches. He has to be utilized more, whether it be in the passing game, in the running game, whatever. Alvin Kamara is a special player and needs to get more touches for sure. And I think the biggest play of the game was probably Trevor Daniel, the punter for Tennessee, who's been a consistent force all year long for Tennessee. The punt with 2.5 minutes to go, I guess it was, that backed, it was a 56-yard punt that backed Georgia inside their own 1-yard line. What a huge punt that was at that stage of the game. It was probably one of the best punts you'll ever see in football. The way it just died and just cut left and got out of bounds. What an awesome punt that was. Just the whole atmosphere. Vol Nation was strong. It was a sellout, 102-455. And I think what an atmosphere was, and finally Tennessee was able to use that atmosphere for good, for a victory, instead of all those fans going home disappointed. And I think what a great win it was for Tennessee, and it will carry them the rest of the season. I do think 8-4 is manageable now. You know, after the Florida loss and Arkansas loss, it was, man, this team will be lucky to get to 6-6. You know, but I do think now with this confidence booster and with this win, I think they can get to 8-4 this year, and that would be a huge step forward from a 6-6 season last year to get to 8-4 this year. Specifically, the way they started the season this year at 2-3, it'll be a great step forward for this program, great step forward for Butch Jones, and he'll be able to use that and work his program into what he wants it, and it'll buy him a few more years as the head coach of the University of Tennessee. That is your Big Orange Breakdown, brought to you today by Volunteer Spirits, located at 921 Highway 92 in Jefferson City, reminding you, if you drink, please drink responsibly. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. We're now moving forward into our 5th quarter portion of the show, brought to you today by the Dandridge General Store, located in historic downtown Dandridge. Guys, we'll just jump right into it. We'll start off with Morristown West and Daniel Boone. Of course, Daniel Boone is bad. Morristown West is pretty good. Tucker, we'll start with you. Who do you got in this game, buddy?
Morristown West, even though I don't like them, I'm going to say about 40-something to probably about 14.
40-something, 40. That's probably
about right.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna take West too. I just think Daniel Boone are not good at all. As Morristown East beat them 31-0.
Yeah.
For their first win, so I'm gonna Tucker. I think it's a huge blowout.
I do too. I think it could even be worse than Tucker's saying. I mean, it could hit the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be bad.
West, and they probably would do that.
Yeah.
They probably would do it.
Yeah, they probably will. If given the opportunity, they will run the score up.
Yeah.
Staying in high school, we'll do Jefferson County traveling to Science Hill. Of course, it's a big game for Jefferson County. In order to improve their positioning, Andrew, we'll start with you on this one.
I'm going to take Jefferson County.
Yep.
I think Science Hill, due to the fact with their quarterback, which everything runs through their quarterback, and I think Jefferson County's defense comes out assertive early. They come out to a big, good start, and they don't dig themselves a hole, and I think their offense gets going, and I expect big games from Noah Carter and Tucker C. And Jefferson County wins. I think in a close one, though.
A close one. Tucker, I know you'll be playing in the game. If you don't want to give the prediction, that's fine. But just kind of, if you want to, feel free to.
I'm definitely taking us.
Shocker.
Won't know the score until Friday night, so.
Yeah.
But it's going to be us.
So I'll make it a clean sweep. I'll say Jefferson County as well. I think it will be a close game. I think it'll be. I think it could be one of those games that maybe whoever has the ball last.
Yeah.
You know, it could be one of those kind of games, much like you saw against Bradley Central or something like that. Of course, Bradley Central was able to knock off Dallas Bennett this week, which was a upset, and specifically because Bearden had knocked off Bradley Central the week before that. So I mean, it was kind of a snowball effect. But I think this week people around the region will be saying, "Wow, Jefferson County beat Science Hill," and I think it'll be a jump start where Jefferson County can finish the season extremely strong, because I do think Science Hill is the best team left that they play.
Yeah.
Now moving over to the college side of things, we've got Kentucky taking on Auburn, and I'll go with Tucker first because I already know who you're picking. So we'll go with Tucker first.
I'm definitely gonna go with Auburn. Don't really know much about the two, because I mean I'm more of a Tennessee fan, so
That's right.
I don't really keep up with teams that I don't like. So Auburn's gonna win.
I got you. Andrew, we could skip you, but I'll go ahead and let you talk.
I think Kentucky's gonna win.
Of course you do.
Kentucky 4-1, strong start. Everybody at the first of the season said they're not gonna be very good. 4-1 came out, got big wins. Auburn against South Carolina and Missouri. So I think they knock off Auburn in an upset, which people are saying it's upset, but I don't think it's an upset because I think Kentucky's the better team. Because Auburn, their team hasn't been playing very good. Kentucky's been playing very well. Kentucky wins in a close ball game.
I too think Kentucky wins. I think that it's a close ball game. Actually, I think it could be a 2-score game. I think Kentucky wins this one by double digits. Just because Auburn is struggling so much right now offensively. I really don't think Auburn can score against Kentucky, and I just don't see Auburn being able to hang around in this game. Really, I think Kentucky is a much improved team. You got to give credit due. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due.
Yes.
People have always told me that, so I'm trying to do that right now. As bad as it hurts, it just has to be that way, I guess.
It does.
Now we're going Texas A&M, Alabama, which is the marquee matchup in the SEC this week, I think. Two very talented football teams, two very good football teams. Andrew, we'll start with you, brother.
I just can't pick against Seay, but I'm picking Alabama. Even though Texas A&M really hot team right now in all of college football. They're 5-0, extremely good start, but I just don't think they can keep up with Alabama. Alabama coming off a big win. Well, as they beat Georgia last week, which was a huge win for them as they had lost to Ole Miss. But I think Alabama wins.
Yeah. Tucker?
I'm going to also go with Alabama. I'm still on this opinion that Alabama is on a very revengeful type of deal, so I'm saying that they're kind of going to wipe out Texas A&M pretty bad.
Well, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to go Texas A&M because for some reason Texas A&M has Alabama's number. With Johnny Manziel and things like that. And I think Texas A&M doesn't look at Alabama like everybody else in the SEC looks at Alabama. Because they have beaten Alabama. They don't think we're going to go in here and lose like a lot of teams do when facing Alabama. So I think the mindset of Texas A&M plays a big role in this. I think Texas A&M gets the job done close. And I could very well be wrong. Alabama could blow this thing wide open because I think Alabama has a ton of momentum right now after that win against Georgia 2 weeks ago, and then of course Arkansas this week. I think they have a lot of momentum going their way, but I think Texas A&M stops it. For Tucker C, Andrew Briggs, I'm Matt Stanley. Thank you guys for watching.